The Bold and the Beautiful. Who shot Bill Spencer? Suspects and motives. It was a dark and windy night as Bill Spencer, after another run-in with Steffi Forrester's father Ridge, poured himself a stiff drink, picked up the legal papers disowning his adult sons, Liam and Wyatt, and contemplated all the nasty run-ins he'd had with family and friends over the past days, weeks, and months. He opened the terrace door and looked out at the bad weather that had already taken out his security system, leaving the entry gates to Bill's estate open. In the darkness a shadowy figure made its way up the driveway. The intruder opened the door and entered Bill's house, any sound they made drowned out by the howling wind. With Bill's prized collectible golden gun still laying on the table, the intruder picked it up, aimed and fired the gun. Hit, Bill grimaced and fell to the floor. With a long list of disgruntled family and friends on the move that evening to take action against Bill, who got there first? Ridge. Since finding out that Bill and Steffi slept together on the night that Steffi and Liam argued over him kissing Sally Spectra, Ridge has insisted that Bill Spencer took advantage of Steffi. When Ridge learned Bill had proposed, he went to Bill's home and told him again to stay away from Steffi. Irate, Bill told Ridge to stop telling everyone that he was a predator. His daughter wanted to sleep with him, Bill rubbed in. An irate Ridge couldn't take his eyes off the gun on the table. Bill threatened to have Ridge arrested, and Ridge left, telling Bill that if he was going to be arrested it wouldn't be for trespass. Ridge was certainly prepared to pick up a gun and fire. He was even wearing gloves. Liam was probably the first to cut ties with his father after he learned that Bill had slept with his wife. Liam has plenty of reason to hate Bill. And if it was Liam who was outside the Malibu Cliff house and saw Bill propose to Steffi, it could have been enough to send Liam over the edge. Sally. Given that Sally has already picked up, aimed and fired the golden gun in Bill's office last week, we know she is capable of pulling the trigger and hitting her target. Sally's fingerprints are probably also still all over the gun. Sally had been having dinner with Saul and Shirley at Il Giardino when conversation turned to how much Bill Spencer had done to ruin them. Saul said he could kill Bill Spencer. Sally left dinner to go do something about Bill Spencer, rather than just complaining. Sheila. The Spectra gang, in part, went to Il Giardino for dinner to catch a glimpse of the notorious Sheila Carter. When they inquire about Sheila, their waitress tells them Sheila hasn't arrived for her shift yet. She has something to do. Though Sheila doesn't have a beef with Bill Spencer herself, Ridge did plant the idea that if she were to kill Bill she would be doing a great service to the Forrester family. Getting into the Forresters' good graces, particularly Eric's, would please Sheila. Sheila already knows that Bill and Ridge were arguing over Steffi at Il Giardino. So it is possible that Sheila could have been outside Steffi's home and watched Bill propose, then followed Bill home and used Bill's security system failure to her advantage. If Sheila managed to frame Quinn for the murder attempt, that would keep Quinn out of the way for another attempt at reuniting with Eric. Wyatt. Katie panicked when she was served with court papers from Bill suing her for sole custody of Will. Scared, Katie reminded Wyatt that Bill didn't exactly fight fair when he wants something. Wyatt assured Katie that Bill wasn't taking anything from either of them. Before he left the house, Wyatt promised Katie that no matter what he had to do, Bill was not taking Will from Katie. Wyatt of course ends up drinking, and when he wakens hungover the next day, he has no memory of what he did after leaving Katie's house. Quinn. In protective mama bear mode over Bill's treatment of Wyatt, Eric warned Quinn to be careful who heard her say she would take Bill Spencer down. But Quinn didn't care. Eric wondered what would happen to him and Wyatt if she were to do something she can't take back. Quinn tells Eric he's right. She won't go back to her old ways, but if anyone could make her do it, it would be Bill Spencer. She leaves the house to settle herself down. Pam. With Pam off her meds, Pam overheard Ridge tell Brooke that Bill had turned up at Steffi's house again to take advantage of her. Ridge raced out of the office, so Pam told Charlie, Rick, and Maya that she had learned the reason for Liam and Steffi's marriage ending. Bill Spencer. Pam knew what Stephanie would do if she were here and decided that someone else could also. Charlie tried to convince Pam she was overreacting and when she was back on her meds she would see things clearer. But Pam thought she was seeing clearly enough and headed out of the office. Rick. In an ill-conceived, Me Too type anger over Bill's outing of Maya years ago, Rick agrees that Bill Spencer can never be allowed to hurt another Forrester again. He leaves the office in a rage, stating, as of tonight he is done with Bill Spencer. Justin. Though Justin is one of the few people not furious with Bill for some transgression. Given that Bill has disinherited both his adult sons, Justin is celebrating his new position of power as Bill Spencer's heir apparent, at least until Will comes of age. When Emmy notes that the power looks good on him, Justin muses that he is finally at the top. He then follows up with Bill to see if he's signed the documents disowning Wyatt and Liam. When Bill hasn't, Justin urges him to do so, just a little too keenly. Jarrett. When Bill Spencer fired Jarrett out of the blue, the former employee waited till Bill left to have his say about Bill Spencer to Justin. Jarrett poured himself a stiff drink and promised that Bill would regret this day before storming out of the office and away from the job that had been his life. Thomas. We know from a phone call last week, that Thomas Forrester is also back in Los Angeles. And he wanted to see Bill. Thomas has also been manipulated by Bill into being with Caroline and his son, Douglas in New York, rather than with Sally Spectra, who he actually loves. Thomas is only back for a short story arc, which no doubt includes tying up the loose ends related to Bill's lie about Caroline suffering a terminal illness. Is Thomas angry enough to shoot Bill? Katie. Katie is slated to find Bill injured and bleeding tomorrow when she goes to his house to confront him about suing her for custody of Will. Though she is likely the one who calls 911, it doesn't necessarily preclude her from also being the shooter. Katie certainly has reason to hate Bill. If everyone who left their homes, offices, and social events to find Bill Spencer eventually arrives at Bill's home, Lieutenant Baker is going to have an extremely compromised murder scene. Add to that the long list of suspects for the detective to work through, and this could be one complicated murder with clues shown in flashback as each character steps through their movements that night. Who do you think shot Bill? The Bold and the Beautiful airs weekdays on CBS. For more spoilers, recaps, and history, click subscribe, or find links to www.soapoperastory.com in the description section below.